good evening, and welcome to
The
Truth
Truth
Behind
Behind
the
the
Truth,
Truth.
Season
Oh,
4.
yes,
Four.
yes. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my gosh, I am so excited and so thrilled, guys. I
Yes.
mean, man, I'm excited for the birthing of a great new season that is taking off tonight.
All
I want to
right.
thank you, our audience, for being with us for the past 3 seasons. Now we kicking off season 4, man. It's gonna be a good one. We got a lot of stuff in store for you this season, okay? And starting out tonight, but we'll get into that in a minute. But I do want to welcome all of you back with us that have been following us for the past 3 years on all of our social media places. And if you are not liking and sharing, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Okay. As we've told you in the past, we want this show to get propelled to another level. Okay, another level, not on this platform, but on a greater platform where we're really in the studio together. All right. So we really want that. We really want to push that. We're just going to take you guys to support us in a great way to do that, especially this season. There's a lot of different things going on. A lot of conversations, a lot of shows. But guess what? None of them are yet bringing you the true truth behind the truth. From politics, from religion, to social media, to social life, to relationships, to whatever it is that's out there in the field that need to be talked about. Guess what? We're going to go out there, pull the vine and pull it out for you and bring the conversation to you so you can continue and being to the point that you find your authenticity, knowing that you are enough. What's that slogan, Parnell?
It's not my job to make you comfortable with my life.
Absolutely. Sandy, we're gonna have to get you a slogan too, so you can kind of throw it in there as well. All right. But anyway, definitely want to go ahead and get started. But real quick before I introduce our special brother back to the show as our part-time co-host this season. Wonderful to have I'm gonna call him Dr. Sandy Hackett, okay?
Yeah.
Because this man is something else. You find out tonight. If y'all hadn't watched him on the show previously, y'all gonna see tonight how he is. All right. He is legendary to us. We feel very grateful to have this legendary representation of Hollywood. I mean, his dad was a powerful man around these streets. Okay, I don't know if you know about his dad, but his dad, Buddy Hackett, was from Johnny Carson to everywhere. All right, so very powerful man in this industry. So we really are blessed, honestly, to have one of the greatest comedians out here now and doing the thing. He'll be able to tell you guys about that throughout the season and what have you. So we're glad to have him tonight. But before that formal introduction, real quick, we will raise our glasses high. And here they are. They're available for you. The Truth Behind the Truth mugs. Yes. So you guys can order them. Yes, you can. You see the information right on the bottom. You can order your mug. It's $15.99. Don't choke up at the cost because you do it as a gift, honey. You spend more money on that anyway every day. So $15.99 ain't gonna be that big. But what we need you to do is just send a simple email to our email page, okay, which is ttbtt at actually should be ttb show at gmail.com. Sorry about that, our production guy, but it's actually ttbtt show at gmail.com. Send an email. We'll get in touch with you on instructions how to pay for it and the way we'll get it to you. All right. Now to get into to welcoming our brother. And you know what, Sandy, I'm gonna keep you for the last point because I'm gonna touch Parnell because we want to hear from you a little bit. So I'm gonna touch Parnell real quick. Say introducing, good evening, how are you? Great to see you, love you, thank you, and how you doing?
Doing good. Glad to be here and having a little sip of tea in our Truth Behind the Truth mug.
Yes.
The cookies aren't ours, and I'm not going to name who it is because they didn't pay me to say that.
Okay, good. Y'all heard sponsorship. Okay.
I know, right?
But it's good to see it. We're going to get in about how the summer was and all that very shortly with it. So without further ado, all right, welcoming Chuck Kessler back to the show. He's always been a brother of the show for about a couple of years now, and he's been on periodically as a guest, but now he is a part of the team. And we are glad to have him part of the team, with his complete insight of life. So y'all get your pens and papers ready, get you some wine, get you whatever you need, because hey, he will come at you. He will tell you the truth behind the truth. But if you don't like it, so what? Okay. All right. To our brother, Sandy Hackett. Welcome, my brother. Welcome.
Well, you guys are way too kind.
We were learning from the best. Okay?
Yes.
We are truly learning from the best. So how are you, my brother? How are you? What's going on? How's your life? How's your wife? Just everything.
it starts with when you ask about my wife. It's the Henny Youngman joke. I just got back from a pleasure trip. I took my wife to the airport.
You know what?
A pleasure trip
to the airport. Right. Okay.
I'm kidding. She's on her way to New York. She's actually in a plane right now, and she is debuting a brand new show that she's written and conceived called "For Once in My Life," a song that her father Ron Miller wrote, and that she fought 16 years to get the intellectual properties back for herself and her brothers and sisters. And it's the story is unbelievable. What the court battles, the scenarios, and it debuts next Sunday in New York at 54 Below, and I am headed there Tuesday because apparently I've been made the technical director, which we're in big trouble.
Okay.
Oh,
come on. You do that all the time with your show on the road. Matter of fact, speaking of, tell people about your show on the road that you do on a regular basis, too.
Well, I am not the technical director. I'm the last guy you want to be the tech guy.
Okay.
People say, it's not working. I said, you're right.
Okay.
That's my technical experience. But
okay.
I've got a bunch of shows. We've got my wife helped me. It's interesting because we're both the offspring of legends in their own field. My father, Buddy Hackett, and I wanted to keep his legacy alive, and I wrote a show called My Buddy.
Yes.
And we tour with that. Of course, with COVID, like all of us, we were down and just sitting at home going, I wish I had the audience that I could talk to. And actually joining you guys, when we were at least able to do this, video, get out there to somebody.
Right,
and,
exactly.
And you sit at home all week going, I want to talk to anybody.
Right.
And we're starting now to get bookings again for our shows. And then I have a show about the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis, Dean Martin. I played Joey Bishop. I wrote my wife into the show as a character called Frank's One Love, based on Ava Gardner. And then, of course, I did stand up. And my wife has a beautiful, beautiful voice. And maybe, one day we'll get a chance to see what she's doing. But you can go look her up, LisaDawnMiller.com. She's got a terrific voice. But thanks for asking.
Right.
So when we sing Someday at Christmas, everyone, this year, because Christmas is coming up, we're going to think of your father-in-law, Ron Miller. I'm telling you, you just can't be a songwriter like that. And we talked about this before the show, Sandy, earlier today about For Once in My Life.
Oh,
that song, it still hits. It still hits.
Yeah.
For Once in My Life, the words are so poignant, and I'm saying it's just timeless music, and that's where I feel like music these days, it has to get back to. We got to get back to that type of writing and that type of heartfelt message. So
the amazing thing about music is that you have artists that put songs out and no one covers their stuff. It's their stuff. Nobody else really sings it. For whatever reason, probably because I've always referred to Ron Miller as a modern day Shakespeare. The guy was an incredible poet. His words and his songs, they just, I said to my wife when I first met her and started listening to her father's music, I said, your father has told the story of our lives through his music and the poetry of his words. And Someday at Christmas, which you just said, that song is now, almost, it's 55 years old, and it's still being used. Last year, I don't know if you remember, who had a huge hit with it is Lizzo.
Oh,
wow.
Had a huge hit with it. Number one song at Christmas time last year was Lizzo's version of Someday at Christmas. And I don't know her, don't know why she picked it, but God bless you, Lizzo, because
it's interesting. I mean, again, so many, I think, versions of that or artists have done. I still, and you know this, I still hold fast. I love Michael Jackson's version.
Oh.
I went from the Jackson 5 Christmas album. To me, it's just the way I don't know if the moment that he was in when he was recorded it or whatever, it just, to me, it just transcends. I love to hear that from him.
Wow.
That's just like one of my favorite Christmas albums. I mean, yeah, favorite Christmas album too. But at the end of the day, that particular song on that album, it just, and of course Stevie Wonder did it as well.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
They're cousins.
So he did it as well,
Yes,
and I'm sure again. Thank you for the information about Lizzo doing. So I'm sure there's been a countless amount of artists that have recorded it. But going back to that, it's just I really, really, really enjoyed Michael's rendition of it. Yeah, but I think did Donny Hathaway do it as well? To your knowledge, Sandy.
Did he sing for once? Someday at Christmas?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many people that have sung it. I know. Amazingly, Justin Bieber sang it almost a decade ago, and it broke him. And when I say broke him, that was the song that he went on the George Lopez show, sang "Someday at Christmas." President Obama's daughters were watching and said, "We want him at the White House for the Christmas show."
Okay.
And then he took off from there like a rocket. But that was the song that introduced him to the world, even though he it had a following and he had music and stuff like that. But that was the one that got him on national television and then working at the White House.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it needs to be our Christmas national anthem for this country, because this country needs to live by those words.
That's so
they
true.
need to live by those words.
So true.
Was that before we got baby, baby, baby? Oh.
Okay, can't sing no more. We got to pay him.
I know, right?
Hey, whatever's in that cup, Parnell's working.
Okay. All right. So before we get ready to go to break, Pete, tell us how about your summer? How was it? What'd you do? Anything exciting?
Summer was good. I was busy. I moved up to becoming the board chair at Celebration Theater.
Yes.
Which has been interesting. It's like I'm the first Black person to ever be the chairman of the board there. So that's like, yes, come on, make some history.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we just finished associate producing our one-man shows called The Real Black Swan. It's Confessions of America's First Black Drag Queen.
Okay.
It was William Dorsey Swan, who was formerly enslaved and was the first person known to declare themselves as the queen of drag.
Yeah, so that's where the terminology kind of inspired itself from.
Where is the theater? Is it in Southern California?
Yes. Yeah, we're here.
That's a great show. That should go right to Florida, to the governor's meeting.
I'm done.
Wow.
Yes. A command performance.
Yes, absolutely. With a personal invitation to sit on the front row.
Yes.
And of course, all the strike activity that's been happening.
Exactly. Yes, and we're total solidarity. At least the writers are back right now. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, we actors will get back. Within the next week or so, which is good. Anyway, we got a quick break for our first break of the season. So we'll be back and we will pick up with your events for the summer. Okay. And then we'll roll into our topics for tonight. Guys, we'll see you in just a minute after this quick break. All right, and we are back, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into season 4 of The Truth Behind the Truth. All right, I'm sure you guys saw the commercial there. Order your mug.
Please,
get your mug. So when you're sitting in front of the TV, all right, or not even just when you watch Truth Behind the Truth, but reminding yourself of the importance of Truth Behind the Truth, and all your coworkers and everything. Now Christmas time is coming up. Yes. Send that email. Hey, we'll get them out to you. Give them as gifts. All right. The gift that keeps on giving. Okay. Every time you look at it, it's giving more to your life because you're experiencing your truth behind your truth. All right. Go ahead and dig in to how your summer was.
Summer was great.
Okay.
Summer was good. I mean, different opportunities are coming their way, and know, and hey, work is work, but without work, there is nothing. You have to keep the lights on. But I feel like things are happening.
Good.
But the same with you. How was your summer? I mean,
a lot. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, just different. I would say different. Being honest, different highs and lows. That we experienced. During the summer. That we both experienced, and then right at the point of our. Right at the point of going on hiatus, our grandmother transitioned. So that was a little, but we want to pay homage to her, send her love, in that great place of looking back at us and wishing well, because that's something that she did all the time. She was an advocate member of follow the show when she's opportunity to be in front of us. So we're keeping it going. We're keeping it, and Miss Hattie Willis, we are keeping it going. I mean, as we grow, we will put a soundstage to our name. At the end of the day, out there. So, but it taught me a little bit more gratefulness, gratitude, things like that this year, and a lot of different things to help mold that. Some conversations I had that I didn't want to have. Okay, but it challenged me to another place. So I think that it was a point of digging in deeper, really being focused on where the catalyst of Truth Beyond the Truth I wanted to go, where I would love to see, of course, the show grow, and it's going to happen. So I spent time putting that energy into the universe, and I'm putting a demand on it so that all that is connected and involved with us, that we will all have a successful season 4 and many seasons thereafter, with that. So, and again, I'm so grateful to have my brother with us, Sandy with us as well.
All right. Also to add, y'all, please go out and look at the Samson McCormick interview.
Yes, our interview. Sam McCormick interview on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Just go to his page on YouTube and you'll see the interview as well that we did. All right. Let's go ahead and dig in. I know you got the first topic over there. We're going to chat on tonight.
Yeah, but Sandy, did you have something to say? Did you want to say anything before we go?
I'm thrilled for Parnell. We didn't get to talk enough to get to be the chairman and the first Black guy in charge of the theater, and now you get to make the decisions about what you bring in and what's it going to do.
Yeah.
And you're the buck stops here, and it's a challenge, but good for you. Happy, and I want to come see a show down there one day.
Yes.
So you have to let me know when I'm in LA. I will come visit, because I didn't know about that guy that was the first whatever. but that's how you learn. You go to theater, you go to the arts, and we learn things about people.
Absolutely.
In a way that's entertaining. And then you come back with some information, which is why if you go to Florida, you'll never learn shit.
Speaking about information, let's talk about this strike.
Okay.
So we just discussed a little bit about the strike. So I know, Parnell, you were down there on, in the situation.
Right.
So what did you hear on the ground? I mean, what was the atmosphere going on?
Well, the great thing about it is, everybody is there to uplift one another. I mean, it's not a situation where everybody's just stomping around mad and angry. It's just kind of like, hey, we're going to be here. And that sense of people coming together for a common cause, I think just is like, we're just there to keep each other motivated and uplifted. Like, because that heaviness of being angry would just weigh you down. But when you come in, it's like, oh, we know what we're asking for is fair.
Right.
Some people are calling it, saying, well, the honesty thing is that it's asking for profit sharing, which is still fair. Like, wait a minute, if you're making millions and billions of dollars off of what I do on the screen, then yeah, I should share
absolutely
in the profits of that, because it's like, that's great to like, yeah, you may pay me $30,000 per episode, but if you making 30 million, then it's kind of like, I should get a little more, because they're not coming to watch you manage it.
Right.
They're coming to watch what we do on that screen. And especially, even our background actors and stuff, like, listen, you got to pay folks. It's expensive to live in this town.
Right.
Yeah.
And folks shouldn't have to be, having to work 3, 4, 5 different jobs to make ends meet.
Right.
What they do generates so much money. So that was kind of an interesting thing, just to be there and see that camaraderie, and that like, even with the video games, we've authorized the union to strike against that. Again, it's like, listen, you got to pay. You guys make billions of dollars off of these people who do these video games. They need to share in that.
That's true. That's true.
And it was like 98, I think, % of SAG actors approved of the authorization to go on strike if need be. So hopefully we won't have to, and we can, that reason we'll be seeing, and folks like, what they're asking really isn't that much.
Right.
They've paid more in PR, folks, trying to make themselves look good than they would have paid if they just agreed to what was being asked.
Right.
It's like, y'all spent 5 years of what we were asking for trying to make yourself look good. You could have just said, okay, that's fine, that's fair, let's do it, let's move forward, let's get this entertainment out there.
Right, and if you had paid fairly, then we could have written for you to look good, and we would have won. But you wanted to go against us.
Right.
So 2 points. I know we got to go on. So Sandy, did you get out and participate in the strike at all?
I did not get out and participate, but it was a long way to go, and I have a family to take care of, and so did everybody else. But I didn't feel that. I don't know. It just. I didn't.
Okay, and I thought about getting out, there today, but then it's just like the work that I had to maintain on a daily basis. So it didn't leave me that room. So we talked about it a couple of times about going it. Then I think I mentioned it to Parnell, and I understand it. But I think that we did pay a lot of reference to it, prior to going on hiatus, and and I was always at the sending good words to everybody that's out there and did it. But my quick question, we got to move on, is just for the generalists of us as actors. So what do you think about the categories that actors are experiencing and have been experiencing forever in this industry, and the A-list, quote unquote A-list, the ones that are getting $15-20 million for a film? Now, in my respect, I think that and have worked with some of these people, which I could name, that you get on set with them, and you're like, you get how much? And it's taking you 8 takes to get these 3 lines together. You know what I'm saying? So what do you guys, just real quick, what do you think about the A-list categories of how people are getting paid? And then here it is, the average actor is not even making $30,000 a year, as a whole, from basically being cast or whatever. And all of you got to do to even get casted, tons of auditions and the rejections and what have you. But anyway, so what do you guys say before we go to break real quick?
Me?
Yeah, anyone. Anyone. If you want to take it, Sandy, go ahead.
Look, we live in a strata society, and those are the facts. And when we watch basketball or football, the elite get more, and if you're not elite, you get less. Somehow the NBA and the Players Association in the NBA figured out, we're going to be your partners, owners, and even though. And Chris Rock has one of my favorite jokes. He says, people say Shaquille O'Neal is rich. He said, the guy who pays Shaquille O'Neal, that's rich. But the NBA Players Association went to them and said, look, we're going to be partners. We're the product, and you've got the arenas and the stuff and the TV connections, but we're going to get half the pot. And we're going to split it up. And then we look at the numbers that these guys are getting, and some guys get more than others. And then you get a team where they say, oh, we're going to get the veteran for a minimum. You're playing next to a guy's getting $30 million for the season, and you're getting 600,000-700,000. Is it fair? No, I don't know that that's fair, but that's what it is. If we decide to change it somehow and go, look, if you're an actor, everybody gets paid the same. But as soon as you get any kind of fame or everybody wants to see you, my goodness, I don't know. I know the name Taylor Swift. I'm not familiar with her music. She is the biggest star right now we have in the United States. Filling stadium. She turned down the Super Bowl opportunity, and they said, what we should do is have the Super Bowl at halftime of one of her shows. That's the audience she has. Yeah. But amazingly, she's done a little battle with Trump, and the other day she came out to her to the people. What do they call them? The Swifties. And she said, go register to vote. And Taylor Swift telling her people to vote. 35,000 people registered in like 8 hours.
Yeah, that's true. We have said that so much on this show, typically about people that are in that category of entertainers and whatever that are not doing that. Yeah, that really should. Can you imagine the voter crises that we see? That we wouldn't be seeing. But I know we got to go ahead, partner, make yours because we got to go to break. And
I'm just echoing what Sandy was saying. Is basically like, the folks who are, if you're the face that people are are coming to see in that movie, you should get a bigger slice of the pie. I mean, that's, why you have your leads, you're supporting, and, your day players and all that good stuff. So everybody's not going to get paid the same. But it's just like, if we just make sure that the tiers are even, where it's like, if you're this tier actor, this is what the pay scale is. If you're this tier, this is what it is, because there's always going to be somebody that's at the top. That's always the best.
Right.
Paid more.
Sure. Exactly. Did we get the signal for a break? I'm not sure if that was, did I see that? I may have been an illusion. Maybe not. I'm sorry. If we did, I thought I did say, I don't want us to run into that particular point, but if not,
but I would like to add, though, I think it's very odious to the average American to keep repeating and saying, well, now these actors need to go find real jobs.
Right.
My thing is, what is a real job to you? And that's one thing. And for those who believe that is not a real job, look at your own jobs and figure out that, do you need to start walking out and striking? Because from what I'm seeing clear across the board, it's not only the actors and these people in the entertainment that needs to be striking. It seems like the whole country needs to be striking right now, because I'm seeing people making minuscule wages. And I'm seeing a lot of CEOs in each and every industry finding loopholes and how to discourage and how to at least find a way to take out whatever that needs to be to make a bonus, for them to make a bonus. So before you start bringing up rhetoric of they need to go find real jobs, think about it. You need to start looking into your own situation. Truth behind the truth.
Truth behind the truth. which leads us into the auto workers. Okay. And the strike that's going on with that. Some people, especially being from Michigan myself, the auto industry was what really back in the day, it set middle class Michigan pretty much, because you could afford the nice car, you could afford the nice home, depends on where that home was and whatever the case may be. And all of a sudden that shift came and they started decreasing the amount that these people were getting paid and putting more demand on them, or the education level shift, because now you had to learn how to, whether you were doing it yourself doing the screw, now you had to learn how to teach the robot how to screw the screw. And once you got the robot in place, then you got 5 of your coworkers that weren't there with you any longer, because a robot was taken over at this point, So I do see their point, in terms of wanting to make more money. And I think that when you go into, and you and I have this conversation a lot, that when you have these CEOs, and it kind of piggybacks off what you're talking about too, Parnell, but these CEOs with these inflamed salaries. Honestly, me speaking, I could be wrong, and please correct me. There's no reason why in the world the CEO of an automotive industry should be making $20 million a year. There's not that much paper that comes across your damn desk, in my opinion. That's $20 million worth of money. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, now, I mean, it could be up for debate or whatever. They can say that I scratched my ear, I picked my butt differently, or whatever the case may be. But it's still, I think that is that's in excess. And then you don't want to even pay the people that are doing the work, which is on the ground level, or anything like that. Let's pick this up right after the break. I know we got this. I knew it was coming up at some point. All right, so we'll pick it up after the break. We'll be right back, guys.
Or we may stay around for a little while.
Right, but as a government worker, let me just say this. Now, the government, we haven't touched on this at all, but I want to put this up there. As a government worker, I think they need to start walking their asses out towards the Capitol, because the government and we know it's not going to shut down. It's been reported. It's not shutting down. Thank you, God. But the fact that it could shut down and people cannot and won't get paid. I'm talking about people like your TSAs, people who are working for serving in the military and all that stuff. These people don't get paid. Now, how as a congressman and as a senator, you can sit up there on a job and declare that we're going to shut down the government, which is going to take away somebody's livelihood. I'm just saying.
Except theirs. They still get paid.
Exactly. Except for, and Sandy, I'd love to hear your point about
this. Please, Sandy, take it, because I'm still trying to. I'm trying to understand
this. This is such a hot topic and such a hot button. First of all, since it's the truth behind the truth, let's tell the people that are listening and watching, in case you don't know, that one of the proposals that the Republicans put forward was to get a COLA raise, cost of living raise, but it's bullshit, because really what it was is give us more money while all of you don't get more money. Congress should get more. We want to give ourselves a raise, and the hell with you. So that didn't go through because the Senate wouldn't let it go through, and enough representatives said, no, we're not buying into that one. But they tried to float that and put that out there. And this was a last minute, and the repercussions from this of what's going to happen. Will Kevin McCarthy stay Speaker of the House because he had to go bond with the Democrats in order to get a bill to keep, and he did what he had to do to keep the country open in the best interest of America, which is one of the few times Kevin McCarthy has made a decision in the best interest of America. Because when we look at some of these issues, and whatever your persuasion is, if you're so far right with Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene, and you believe that crap, and you go, hey, we're a country here. There's 330 million people. People just they want to go to work. They want to get paid. They want to be able to afford food on their table, clothes for their children. They want to be able to go to school. They want to be able to engage in the American dream and get better and do like Parnell, raise up the level to where he runs a theater and has a job where he's the boss, if that's what you aspire to. And you're right, Dylan. If the country closes down and our military is not paid, and they're going to get paid eventually when they reopen the thing, why should they be sitting there going, we don't have money this week to pay for, we hope you open it soon so we can get paid? That's wrong. It's wrong. So yeah, I have a lot to say about it, but thank God we've got a 45-day stay of execution. We don't know what's going to happen. This could very well cost Kevin McCarthy his job. And the Republicans, the stuff they're doing. And look, I hate to say, I used to be a Republican in theory, but the stuff with Trump and the way we do it, and I go, I'm for less government, but I also think everybody's it's got to be fair. Eventually, we're going to get to a place, and people want to call it socialism and stuff like that, but why shouldn't we all have enough money, enough food, enough everything? Why shouldn't you should just be like in Star Trek when they predict in the future? There's nobody, you go in and you eat. You don't go, I can't afford the steak. Go in and the replicator makes you whatever you want. You go, that's the way life should be. Things should be, we feed people. You come in, I feed you. And I get paid as a restaurateur to keep my doors open and feed people and take care of humanity. And eventually, that's what we have to be if we're going to be a true society.
Or survive, period.
Right, because we're killing our planet, and the people say, oh, we're not killing the planet. Really, we got ice shelves breaking off. We got sea levels rising. Cities that are building things to concern themselves to save. Or New Orleans is getting their water contaminated from the water.
And Manhattan is sinking.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Manhattan is sinking as we speak.
My second favorite city. It's a shame what's going on with the flooding in New York. It really is.
Yes, it is.
It's a shame.
Yeah, I saw a video, I think, on Instagram today. These people on the bus, and just the water was like flooding. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean,
this is insane.
So, and kind of piggybacking off your point there, and with these idiots, along with the other combined Trump idiots that are there, but these idiots that we have in Washington, at this particular point in time, typically the far right people, I really don't. I'm so curious every day to what the hell, there's another word I want to say, what the hell these people do. Well, I mean, how can you not see this? How can you not see that New York is flooding? How can you not see that the calamity of rain and all of these things that the earth or the universe is pushing back? And it's saying, stop this shit. You know what I'm saying? Stop this shit. Stop this negative energy that you're putting out here, and reframe your thinking. Start thinking about each other and not about me. I mean, and I just get frustrated on a day-to-day basis.
George Carlin has a routine that's on YouTube, and he talks about, look, the planet's been here 4.5 billion years. We're not going to impact it, but we are. But it doesn't mean we're going to kill it. It just means, could we be better? Could we treat our own planet better? Are we the ones that are going to save it, or will it save itself? Now they just discovered a continent under New Zealand. New Zealand's the top of it, and they're going, oh, there's the 8th continent that we, it's now covered by water. So the planet's going to do what the planet does, and we're here for The four of us on the show, we're here for another 30, 40 years, maybe 50 if we're blessed, but we're going to be gone. But how many generations until they say, well, the sun went nuclear and exploded, and they, someday the planet won't be here, but apparently it's not going to be for another 9 billion years. I go, I'm not going to really worry about that right now. I don't think I can do anything. Can we take better care of whatever? Can you take better care of your house? Can you take better care of your relationship? Can you take better care of the people at work? Can you be nicer? Can you be more humane? Can you be a better human being and take care of things? And yes, we all can.
Right. Well, your boy Trump said in order for us to stop forest fires, we need to drain the water and moisten up the forest. We need to flood the forest. Wow. If that makes sense, where is this water going to come from? Where we're going to drain whatever he's supposedly going to drain and flood the forest? I'm trying to.
So we're talking about the same idiot. You guys can expand on the same idiot that said grabbing a woman and her special areas would, catapult a different society. So I'm just saying.
Let's stay. Let's also add this
idiocy of that. But go ahead, guys.
Cleaning up the brushes was also another situation too in California. Okay. Remember when he came to California and Newsom and was walking the damaged areas, and he said, well, in order for for us not to have these firestorms, it's for us to clean up the brushes, right? Even though the trees are dry, the air is dry, everything is dry, but we just need to make sure that the floor is cleaned. And that's to me is crazy.
Right.
But you have people who drank of that Kool-Aid and believe that Kool-Aid would save their lives. No. But what about the cyanide that's in it? But it's what they believe. And you know what? That is something
that point, and I'm again love to hear what Parnell, you first, and Sandy you go. Just to point the same. Where did they believe that there was no government documents, in? But go ahead, Parnell.
Oh, I'm through talking about that orange, man. The only orange I want to talk about is the color orange that I'm wearing now. That
I love it. It's the truth behind the truth, and it's just October is right here, and it is a Halloween color.
Yes. Well, today in particular is National Orange Shirt Day in remembrance of Indian residential schools.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There were I think 350 schools where indigenous children were forcibly taken from their homes to put into Christian schools to civilize them. Oh. And today is the day that we wear the orange shirt to commemorate and remember that this happened.
Okay.
And I was just like, when I had it in my calendar, I said, okay, I remember to wear an orange shirt today. And so that's why I'm orange.
I know you said it, and we're going to get off of this. We have quite a bit more to talk about before we do. But I do want to do just for each of us to touch on this, because when we weren't together, all of the indictments and everything else came down. Okay.
Oh yes.
And so I wanted to just kind of bring that forward just a little bit, to kind of see where it was and what has happened in the past 48 hours, where it was with New York and everything else, and him, of course, once again at the point of having to pay $250 billion or whatever it is, that amount back to the city, which he will do, and which they're going to get him on. So, but anyway, let's just kind of throw that around real quick, and then we'll move on. Sandy, go ahead, you can take it for him.
Well, I feel bad I don't have an orange shirt on. I just want to I wish I'd known, because my research when we were in the production meeting, I'm going, well, it's National Hispanic Month, which and I'm going, but it's the last 2 weeks of September and the first 2 weeks of October. And I go, wow, we couldn't even give them a whole month. We had to break it up over 2 months. How rude. And then for you guys, Black History Month is February, the shortest month of the year, which, I also don't think is fair. And then in Florida, Black History Month is February 29th. That's what Ron DeSantis turned into Black History.
Yes, he did.
4 years, you get a day to go over Black History, and then you go, that's enough.
Right. And then you have to cut part of that out. So
right.
What I love about it.
Here's the important thing in the truth behind the truth. These indictments, you've got half the country or 40% of the country that supports Trump thinks this is all BS. It's not. They're real. They are in Florida. They are in Atlanta. They are in Washington, D.C. They are in New York City. And there are other things, plus the woman that he raped that they gave a. So it's not fake. And no matter what you say, oh, it's been debunked, it is not. It is real. This it's not like, oh, there's one heavy charge or a couple. 91. 91. If you're a parent and your kid came home from school and you said he didn't something or other, you go, okay, I'm going to defend my kid. But if you go, every teacher's calling me every minute going, do you know what your kid did? 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 91 times you go, maybe it's my kid.
Right.
So if you're listening and you support Trump and you want to defend him, just know he's a liar. He's an asshole. These 91 counts, and he may not be found guilty on all of them, although he should, but he's going to get found guilty on a bunch of them. And he doesn't deserve to be our president. There are better human beings on this planet that deserve to be president. And and the sad thing is none of them are running on the Republican ticket.
Yeah, well, and it's so funny to add on to that. In this country, it seems like bad behavior is celebrated. His bad behavior is so celebrated. You have people who, like me, like you, Sandy, who believe that, well, you know what, like you say, it's all for entertainment, it's all for show, but it connects them. They connect with his mugshot. They feel like because of the mugshot, he is more relatable than somebody who, like Biden or like Obama or like Jimmy Carter, who goes around and build homes, who do things that help the humanity. Is better than celebrating that, but we have to celebrate this because I can connect with that. It makes him more of what they call a blue collar type of situation of a man, if that makes sense. It makes him something that I can really get down in the dirt and talk to, and that's something that kind of baffles me a little bit, because I'm like saying, y'all don't understand that this man for many years should have been locked up. Even when he was running Trump Tower, even when he was doing bad business in Atlantic City, this man should have been arrested in the 90s. But now finally he has become, he, after the fact of being president, and they saw how awful he was, and still this man is talking about, and I'm so sorry I'm going off kilter with this, but his campaign speech is all about retribution. Retribution. What is retribution? It's all about revenge, and revenge against whom? Those who he feels are the enemy. And liberals, black, Jewish, man, woman, gay, straight, liberals are the enemy. And for anybody in LA, we live in LA, he's telling them to their face, I will not support you, nor will I give y'all any government assistance if I become president, because y'all voted against me. I will not support you. And you still have people here in this city and all over the U.S. saying I will support him regardless. And let me add this, and this will be the last thing. Anybody who is illegal in this country, get ready, because he's talking about mass deportations. Mass deportations. I'm hoping y'all are listening, because when he talks crazy, I'm not laughing. I'm believing, because we had somebody years ago. What was his name? Hitler.
Hitler, right?
Hitler was talking crazy in the 30s, and people didn't believe him. But hey, after 45, he did what he said he was going to do. I'm just saying.
And to add on to what you're saying, the important thing to understand is it's not just the people that voted against him, because if you're black and you think that, well, if I vote for him, he'll leave me alone, you are grossly mistaken.
No.
If you vote for him or you don't vote for him, if you're black or gay or Jewish or anything that he's not, he's coming after you. In your theater, Parnell, he would close that down in a heartbeat. What, you've got gay subject matter? We don't need that crap. It's fine.
You know, there was one time, I'll leave this with this kind of semi-joke, and then we'll move on to the next topic right there. I saw this on Instagram. They were comparing Trump and this regular person, you know, at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, they were talking about both of them shitting, okay, at the end of the day. So So, well, one, you remember which one I saw? So one of them was going to an outhouse, okay, taking care of his business. And then they said, then you want to compare yourself to him where he'll go and shit in a gold toilet. Okay. Just saying. But anyway, let's move on. Never him. What's the next one?
And well, I'm like this. If you support smash and grabs,
yeah,
get ready, because even Trump said he would shoot you at the door. So I'm just saying, if you and I think, and get it off of Trump just a little bit. These smash and grabs are getting absolutely ridiculous.
Yes.
And I don't support it. I don't understand it. I do believe there are people out there that are struggling. And I understand that because we are struggling too. That's just truth behind the truth. We're struggling. And there is a solid depression within our society that we live in, where people do not have the mental wherewithal to say we are all going through something financially and emotionally. And I'm saying with these smash and grabs, it's just, come on now. This ain't even the way. And for those, and the Retail Association lady the other morning, while I was watching the news, she was talking to Good LA, I believe that's what it's called. Good LA? Is it Good LA? Yeah. She was telling the guys, with all of this that's going on, she said, if this keeps going the way it's going, nationwide, all brick and mortars will be closing.
Wow. Well, we are losing 5 targets out here because of the same situation.
Wait, I can help us with this.
All right.
All you smash and grab people, go to Mar-a-Lago. Go smash and grab at Mar-a-Lago. He's got gold toilets. He's got gold handlebars. He's got copper. He's got catalytic converters. He's got nice bedding. Go to Mar-a-Lago and steal everything. Right? Take the walls, take the stone, take the fountains, and you'll probably find some documents that are worth
you can find the mental code.
And you will do 2 things. You will solve the smash and grab problem, and you will punish the guy that makes you need to smash and grab because he is stealing from you.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's so true.
Parnell, what you have to say?
Well, I think it's interesting because some of the smash and grab thing, I think, is just the people trying to be in on the trend. I mean, it's kind of that same mentality of folks who were eating, the Tide detergent pods, which was stupid, or people setting themselves on fire, all these little TikTok challenges. And so, I mean, because we had that influencer, I guess she calls herself, sister that got arrested. She was on the latest at the iPhone smash and grab. She's like, yeah, here we grabbing iPhones and we doing this. And then when they arrested her ass, she was crying and all like, oh, I've been traumatized. Like, but you were on your video talking about police. If you don't come and stop me, it's going to be worse.
Yeah.
But you're traumatized when they grab your ass up and throw you in jail.
Right. We have a distant friend that
who should be nameless.
Yeah, exactly.
Nameless.
Me, and again, I totally detested even back when this type was happening during Black Lives Matter, and what we were experiencing, and protesting peacefully, dissatisfaction, perfectly fine. But when that becomes something else for you to do something else, that's a huge problem. But the point is that this friend of ours, we had this conversation going on one time. It was about the have and the have-nots. So what you're having right now, I'm not talking about the TV show, but the have and the have-nots is that you have so many people that have fallen into the have-nots that this is their way of retaliating against the haves. And I'm like, that's not an excuse for this, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm collectively, we're of an age of a certain age. Okay. We have seen something. I can go back as far as the 70s and watch things like that. They've always been have and have nots, if you want to consider it that. All right. And I have not seen this type of behavior in terms of theft, this blatant, this bold, and I think it's what we've raised as a generation of people that don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah, we've had dissatisfaction. I mean, you know, all of us here, we've seen what happened to the lighter part of the 60s and all of this type of stuff, things that have evolved and changed throughout the 70s. I know it's part of your history lesson, but you know, I mean, but I can never say that this is type of behavior, even though we had riots, okay? We had the Detroit riot, we had the LA riots, and all that, but it was for the cause was different, and they were not doing what they're doing arbitrarily now, okay, at the end of the day, or using this to go out and steal Indian and break in these places. Got this last one in Pittsburgh. Was it Pittsburgh? Yeah, in Philly. Yeah, this last situation. That I think that put pause to a lot of people, you know, and really realizes that this is a group of people that is calculating and planning to do this. It's like they're watching, they become news junkies as to something that's going to happen so they can start, you know, going and you know, and taking advantage of the situation. But that's kind of my take on it. I mean, Stan, what do you think on this?
Well, I have to ask a question about this, because is smash and grab a symptom? And is it a symptom of what we were talking about earlier, that people aren't getting paid enough that they can survive? So this is survival. And I'm sure some smash and grab is criminals doing bad things for bad reasons.
Right.
But I think that there's a lot of smash and grab that is for survival. And it's very hard to be mad at those people going, well, let's see, you're not paid enough. You don't have the opportunities that you have because our government is not doing its job to make sure that you're employed with a decent wage and that you have opportunities. And we're shutting down in Florida. Ron DeSantis wants to shut down branches of education where we teach people. And you go, how do I rise above so that I can be smarter, educated, take care of myself? I mean, honestly, at some point you get to a certain age, and if you're a teenager and you're smashing and grabbing, but at some point you get to the point, I have to take care of my family. So now I have to smash and grab for survival, or I never got the opportunity to learn enough to take care of myself in a way that I need to. So it's a symptom. And I don't think it's because it's not drugs that they're, you know, at least these people, you know, they're not selling crack and stuff like that and filling our streets with heroin. They're trying to survive.
Yeah.
So that's a cry for help. How are we going to help them? We have to make life better. So our representatives, the people we put into Congress and in the Senate and as mayors in towns and city councils, we have to find out what can we do to make this situation better for these people so we don't have smash and grab. It's a cry for help.
Yes, I mean,
and there's a black market for it too. But you know, the thing about it is, when I look at my social media, and I see this going on, and I go down into the comment section, and there you got a situation where people are watching these people steal, and the one comment that says, "Well, why can't they do something about this? Where's the security? Why can't they prevent this?" And my thing is, and this is me. I don't know about y'all. But when people tell me you're not supposed to make a livable wage because what you do is unskilled.
That's very low.
But that's crap.
It is. And I'm gonna let you have it say what you do is unskilled, but see, you want me to be skilled in preventing a robbery, putting myself in harm's way. You know, and the first thing they would tell you as a service worker, always try to keep a level head. In any situation, keep a level head. But when you keep a level head and when you got somebody rear back to want to hit you over the head with whatever that is, and somebody's telling you, well, still, it's unskilled. You're unskilled. But why don't you get in the situation and I'm just saying this, and I'm going to let you have you say something, Sandy. Why don't you put yourself in these people's places, in these people's shoes, when they have to take the abuse for only $18 by the hour
or less?
Why not do anything? But you know, that's my little rant, Sandy. Go ahead.
Let me drop this nugget in real quick. So, but that goes back to what you were saying earlier on, you know, and I think the catalyst of where this country is, and the idiocy of people that want to follow behind Donald Trump. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, because this is a clear situation where you don't know who you are as a person. Okay, and not knowing who you are, I think a lot of times the demographic of where you come from, because if you're not taught that you're great, if you don't hear that you're great, and all you hear is that the downside of life is, to your point, Sandy, then these people don't know what to do. So this is the way that they get in survival mode, and they see that there's not food on the table, or my mom calls me these bad names, and and the list goes on in certain communities. And we're not just talking about the African American. I mean, there are rural areas, in Middle America that don't know who they are, and a lot of them don't know who they are. But they found some sort of allegiance in this idiot that he makes them think that he is like them. And I'm sorry for bringing this back, equating this back into the conversation, but I just don't get that. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get that, because how can you, like I said before we changed the conversation, you get an example of a man going into a outhouse, and then they show him going into a gold toilet. What? Hey, really? He's even telling you that excuse me for playing, but I even shit on a different level than you do. Now that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. But go ahead, Sam. I didn't mean to interrupt you in your point.
No, I agree with you guys. But when you say about $18 an hour, and that's not a great wage, but it's not the old. When I was young, it was $5.50 an hour or something like that. But it's not the $18 an hour. What it is all the employers that say, we'll hire you for 22 hours a week, so we don't have to pay your insurance.
Exactly. But it's paying the same thing. Exactly.
If you get 18 something an hour and you get insurance and you go, okay, it's not the best wage in the world, but maybe I can work my way up to management. Maybe I could move across from this industry to another industry, but I need to be able to take care of my family and have insurance. As soon as I get any kind of medical or situation, I'm broke.
Right. It's true. So, well, but to your point, there is that is one of I think the behaviors, and I don't know if we were just going to consider that how capitalism rules, employment, but it is the truth behind the truth, and the fact that when there's a higher wage offered, then the hours become less, so they still keep it the same thing that they did in the beginning. So you don't progress. You don't make any
loophole. The loophole.
So I would say capitalism loophole, and it's just there's so many levels to that. But anyway, we got to go on because we're running out of time. You had one more point real quick for the last couple minutes here.
Oh, to be honest, no, that was about it. To be honest with you, that was it.
I'm sorry, bless you, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little confused here. I'm looking at our time and wondering kind of what's going on here. Apologize about that, guys. But anyway, so I know, Sandy, you kind of made it a point. I know we mentioned in the production meeting you're going to mention about the Hispanic month. I know you made a quick laughter about it, but let's kind of enumerate on that real quick for next minute, and then because we do want to celebrate our Hispanic community. And let them know that we're so much a part of them, and the fact that, like you said, even though the month is halfway of the month, we give them a month and a half, or half a month to celebrate. But go ahead, real quick. I know there was a point you were going to mention about it in our meeting.
No, I didn't. You want to celebrate the Hispanic? He's got, for the Indian kids, he's wearing orange, and then it was also September was like National Stop Suicide or something, and I go, wow, we don't have enough time to give out to everybody for their causes. Everybody's just jumping in and grabbing whatever they want. Right. But I wrote a joke years ago about when you're talking about all this smash and grab, when there was looting in Los Angeles, and I walk on stage in a suit, and I said, "You like my suit?" And you're like, "Oh," I said, "I just got it." I said, during the looting. I said, I was looting, and I got this during the looting. And the guy next to me said, "Is this your first time looting?" And I said, "Yeah." "How'd you know?" He said, "You're the only one in here trying on sizes."
I get it. What?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So, look,
wow.
We have a country, we have people out there, and if we're going to be the truth about the truth, you've got to go out and do the research yourself and find out what the truth is. You've got to know that Donald Trump, if he didn't do all 91 counts, he did enough of them that he shouldn't be the leader of our country. He will rain retribution on if you are black, if you are gay, if you are Jewish, if you are not what he is. He will rain retribution on you and destroy your life and take everything he can away from you to keep it for himself. So go out there and do the research. Listen to us and say, I need to understand the truth and the truth behind the truth. Trump is not telling you the truth.
By no stretch of the imagination, at all. I'm wondering, we may have a little technical difficulty going on tonight. I know
we're at time.
We're definitely at time. and I'm not in a position to assist him. So you guys keep talking. Okay, we'll run over a little bit, and I'll figure out how to support him. I'm not sure what.
Parnell, what's the next show coming up in your theater?
Well, actually, the next thing we're doing is we have our 40th anniversary celebration that's happening on October 18th. So that is it's going to be at the Gay Lesbian Center here. So we're going to be doing that. So Sandy, come be our guest.
How big a theater is it? How many seats?
How many seats is it? I know I can't remember how many seats it is, but I know we're aiming for 200 guests.
Wait, you're the boss. You're supposed to know these questions. Make up stuff if you don't know.
I'm just in charge of making sure the board meetings happen on time and stuff. But the executive director and the artistic director, I just kind of go like, okay, all right.
Well, good.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for sharing that. We got the clue that we're all set. We're okay. We apologize for being over, but we're running a little technical difficulty tonight. But it's okay. That's what happens on live TV. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in to first show of season 4. It has been powerful. I hope that you guys will take away from this. Typically tonight, focusing a little bit more on your understanding in the political arena. If you are a Trump supporter, stop. Okay, wake up. Pour that Kool-Aid out that you drink, that you go to your refrigerator every week, that you pour it in that cup. Definitely not in the Truth Behind Truth cup. Please. But but then by that order, the Truth Behind Truth. And maybe you need to do that so you can realize that you're not dealing with the truth, in and of itself. But find yourself in this, people. I mean, this is what this country is about. This is what we're about. But look at the signs around you. Look what's going on. Something is truly speaking to you as an individual. It has to start with you first, and then it expands out from there. All right. But we thank you for taking the time out to do the Truth Behind Truth. Get your mug. 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 Okay. It is the Truth Behind the Truth. When you do order it, all you simply have to do is go to an email to ttbttshow@gmail. Okay. Right. And then we'll get back in touch with you on the process of how to acquire your mug. Sandy, good to see you tonight. We will see you next week. We got next week back with us, right?
Yeah, I'm not here for a few weeks, but can I have a final thought?
Sure, go right ahead.
If you're out there, first of all, don't apologize for going over, because we're the truth behind the truth, not lie after lie after lie. Right. So the people that are watching need that. And second of all, if you're a human out there and that's who's watching, go do something nice for somebody. Don't expect anything back. Just do something nice for somebody else. It'll eventually come back to you. But if we all start doing that, it'll be a better world.
Absolutely. Totally. The truth behind the truth. That is something. I love that. All right, guys. Thank you once again. Y'all have a pleasant night. We'll see you next week. Same place, same station. All right. Have a great night. Bye-bye.